drive at all.
Yeah, my bike.
Yeah, but it really just sucks because you would think, you know, it should be a safe city, right? But it's incredible amount of bike theft.
Right.
So, anyways, Overpass.
So the
Tell me about this.
overpass.
Yeah.
So I have. You must have been on that overpass. Have you been on the San Antonio Road overpass?
I've been on all the Overpass. The one I take most often actually is the Oregon Expressway.
But I live near San Antonio, so it's really out of my way to go to the Oregon overpass.
Sure.
Is it an overpass right now? The Oregon or San Antonio?
Yeah, the both Overpass.
There's an overpass, but I have to go on the sidewalk on San Antonio Road. The underpass is closed for the winter.
There's no dedicated bike overpass right now, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
That's correct. So I joined the League of Women Voters, and I went to the meeting last weekend. And on the way there, it was fine.
Yeah.
And on the way back, I stopped. You know, I went on the overpass on the sidewalk. Then I stopped to wait for the traffic to stop, you know, to be clear when these are the cars that are coming off of 101, right? So one car decided to be nice and stop for me, right? Which is fine, but there were cars behind him, right? So the first car stopped, and then I saw there were 4 cars behind him, right? So they all had to like stop short, and then the last car was a truck. You know those trucks with tools on the sides? It's a very heavy truck, right?
Oh. Are the tools exposed?
No.
Okay.
They're all like covered. Have you seen that type of white truck, right?
Is it like a canvas cover?
Canvas cover, right?
Yeah.
All these trucks are heavy.
Yeah.
So all the cars are now stopped, and then that white truck could not stop. So that truck, fortunately, quickly went to the there's no lane, but you know, like on the car where the cars would be broken down, that car then went to the side and then did not hit the other 4 cars.
I see.
When they all stopped, then there's actually a crosswalk there. I then, you know, it's funny. I think the first car must have been wondering, why didn't I go right away? But it's like I'm watching all of this. When they all stopped, then I went. I was so shook up that I almost caused a 5-car collision on the access of San Antonio Road. I thought I got it right to the city. I mean, this is absurd. I mean, the least thing that you could do is maybe you have to put, at least right away, put up signage. I don't think there's any signage that there's actually a crosswalk coming. If there's any pedestrians or bicyclists.
You need those flashing lights, you know, like, you know.
But the thing is, it's very dangerous. These cars are coming off the freeway 65 miles an hour to have to come to a complete stop. Right? But it's like, what are your choices? I mean, it's like...
Well, on Friday, I went from here to, you know where the Facebook campus is? Yeah. And so I took the Willow Overpass. And there's no sidewalk there at all, right?
There's no sidewalk.
And there's no crosswalk either, so... It's
there's no. So you were with the cars.
I'm with the cars. Yeah.
Oh, that's even more dangerous.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about. It feels very uncomfortable. Right? And
well, we're all bikers here. I bike every day.
Yeah. I bike every day. I bike everywhere, and I use my car.
I don't either. My car sits in my garage. Like
my car sits in the garage.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
I mean, I'm here to advocate for that overpass. Yeah. The other thing is, my kids go to Gun High School.
I go to Gun High School.
My kids go up and down Arrostadero.
I do that every day.
It has not been completed. The bike boulevard for Arrostadero with the hardscape, it needs funding, and it looks like that wants to be cut for the funding for the biking.
Well, I've heard people mention that, but I don't think it wants to be cut. I think the big challenge is that we have like this gigantic infrastructure backlog. And even with the short list of infrastructure projects, we're about $70 to $80 million in the hole, just for the short list. This doesn't include all the projects. So what staff has recommended is for us to prioritize a project and see which one can we actually fund. So part of the issue is that, first of all, the city's losing money, right? In our long-range financial forecast, our expenses are increasing like 7% a year, and our revenues are increasing like 3 to 4% a year. Right, so we have this fundamental gap going on. The second issue is that the construction costs have gone up a lot, right? So what we thought was a $10 million project is now a $60 million project, right? And so that's the other issue going on, right? So,
But now
yes.
you're getting the parking approved. You know, you're increasing the parking for the city.
Oh, you mean like
California Avenue?
Cal-
But it's like, I don't get that either.
Mm.
I don't know if you know, but
Mhm.
my husband actually worked on the first robotic car on the Stanford project 10 years ago,
Oh, wow, okay.
right? So he made that car see,
Yeah.
right? That technology is there.
Yeah.
We now have robotic cars.
Yeah.
Soon, not everybody's going to have all these cars, right? So people are going to we now have a shared economy. We have Lyft, we have Uber.
Yeah, well,
People aren't going to need all these cars.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're spending all this money on more parking.
well, I flew back from Harrisburg on Friday. Oh, yeah, it was a Friday. It was Friday, and I took what they call Lyft line, this carpool, right? And it was like $12, right? So it's like
People aren't going to
I
have
can't-
all these cars.
I can't-
It's like, I
I
don't
can't-
know
I
why
mean-
you're doing these parking
well, it costs more to
garages.
park. It costs more to park than
You
for
don't
me.
need these
Yeah.
parking garages. You need better biking because it's like this area is getting more and
You're
more
preaching
crowded.
preaching to the
This-
choir here.
Right, so it's like the area is getting more and more crowded.
Yeah.
You need to make it nice for all the bicyclists.
I'm a strong biking advocate. I'm eligible to get my car permit. I'm not going to. There's no reason for me
But
to.
a lot of the kids, they
I
are
know.
not getting
I know.
they're not getting their driver's
when I was growing
license.
up,
There's no
getting a car
reason to.
was like so like the
Right, but the kids aren't getting like
these days not
I
anymore.
have 2 kids at gun and a lot of the kids are not getting their driver's license.
There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Right, you see? It's
I
like-
bike every day to school. I don't need a car.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
need the Arrostadero needs to get
Yeah.
finished, and these bike boulevards need to be better for all
Yeah.
the
So,
bicyclists.
what are you concerned specifically about Arrastradero? Since I bike that route every day to school.
So one of my neighbors, her name is Penny
Oh
Elson,
yeah, I'm in a penny.
and
Yeah.
Penny has been working on this since 1999.
Penny's a good friend of ours.
Okay, and they have done temporary striping, but the permanent structure hasn't been put in for Arrostadero. So that all needs to be done, so it's safer for the bicyclists.
Mm.
Especially at El Camino. El Camino is really a mess for the
Yeah,
kids to get
that's-
across.
Yeah, that intersection. I fortunately live past El Camino, but many times a week I go past. I go from this side of the town to this side, and I usually try to go East Meadow. But when I have to go El Camino, I have to cross El Camino or Rastradero. Coming into the turn, you either have to make a decision to go on the sidewalk or take the full car lane. And that's a tough decision for a lot of people.
The bike bridge over 101. What's your thoughts about that?
It needs to be done. It needs to be done, so that more people can bike over to the
Yeah.
Baylands
Yeah.
and walk over to the Baylands. This was terrible. Can you imagine? I almost caused a 5-car collision.
I know. I had a similar feeling on Willow.
I was so upset. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, fortunately, nothing happened,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I could have been killed if I
Yeah.
would have been in front of
yeah,
these
yeah,
people, right?
I totally know what you're talking about. I mean, even just a crosswalk over here, and when someone's in a crosswalk, cars are supposed to stop.
Right.
But how many cars actually stop? Right?
Not
Yeah.
They
many.
don't stop, but here they're not going as fast as coming off of
No,
101.
definitely not. But you feel like Frogger. You know the game Frogger. You feel like Frogger. You're trying to get across the street,
Oh, yeah.
and it's pretty.
You just have to go. You have to go inside. You take the first car lane when it's free,
Yeah.
and then cars. And you wait until the next car stops.
Yeah.
And you just go forward.
That's exactly what I do. But it feels dangerous, right? And
It's
that
dangerous.
and it makes people not want to bike, right?
It makes people not want to bike.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to cross El Camino as a bike. Like everywhere else, like north south city, some very bike routes. I don't have a problem going Park Boulevard, Bryant. You're really good.
Once you're on those, you're okay.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my neighbors, we had rain like this last week or two. So one of my neighbors decided to drive to Gun, right? It took her an hour
Oh yeah.
to go 2 miles. I'm like, really?
An hour?
You should always bike.
You should walk with it.
You should walk.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
It takes-
so really, it's like you got to make the city like so bike
Yeah.
friendly
An hour
that
to
people
drive
get out
to
of their
yeah.
cars and bike and
Yeah.
walk.
So, question for you, which is, and the reason I want to bring this up because we had a discussion maybe it was last week on Ross Road.
Yeah.
It was last week, yeah. And one of the things that the Ross was part of a bigger bike concept plan, right?
Right.
Trying to make biking more safe, right?
Right.
Encourage more biking.
Right.
And one of the, I think, design decisions made on Ross was that the bikes and cars share the same lane.
Right.
And I think it's been proven by law studies that actually does make things safer.
Because they slow down.
Everyone slows down, right? And so the challenge, though, is that the way it works, though, is that it makes everyone uncomfortable, right? Because it's kind of like, I saw this this YouTube video on I forgot what city it was, but somewhere in Europe where they had they used to have stoplights, right? And it was like #1 intersection for accidents or something like that. It was really, and then what they did was they got rid of all lights, all the stop signs, they put a roundabout there, and it cut down the number of accidents by a huge amount. And but the reason why they said it worked was because it with stoplights and like red and green lights, you figure out well, when it's green you have the right to go no matter what, and so now you actually have to watch it. You have to kind of make sure that you know what's going on in that roundabout.
All right.
Anyways, so that there's that one school of thought. The other school of thought is, well, let's have total bike separation, right?
Right.
Separate the bikes from the cars.
Right.
And so I just came back. I was in New York earlier this week, and that's how New York does it, right? So in Manhattan, they pretty much have the bikes and the cars separated.
Right.
And I think one of the points that the people that attended the last meeting on Ross were saying was that sharing the road, especially if you're an elementary school kid, is really kind of hard, right? And also even as an adult biker, there have been times when I've you're trying to take the lane, right?
Right.
And the cars behind you are honking you, and they're
yeah.
I mean, you just feel like they're cussing at you, right? They feel like they're gonna come and kill you, right? So,
right.
And so it works, I think, right? I think it does make it safer, but it's very uncomfortable. So, what's your thoughts about having bike share the lane versus having true separation?
I don't know. I like being separated personally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. No, I went to Amsterdam. We rented bikes. Oh, we had such a great time, but that was separated.
Yeah.
I prefer to be separated.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
I go on Outlaw and I don't go on the street with my bike. I get on the sidewalk.
Yeah. I mean, look at Millfield, right? I mean, all the my son goes to Jordan, right? All the kids take the sidewalk.
They take the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's safer.
Yeah.
No, I don't really like to be with the bike. I don't like to be with the cars.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, this isn't even middle school, right? Forget elementary school.
Yeah, I don't personally. I'd rather be separated.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are running out of time, but I'd like to invite you to a discussion that we're going to be having next on 2 weeks. Actually, 2 weeks, yeah, about Arashidero Road.
Okay.
It's going to be at noontime from 12 o'clock to 1 p.m.
When is that? What day?
On the 25th.
Okay.
And I sent you a calendar invite for it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay,
on Google Calendar. So you'll get it.
So it's 3:25.
Noontime.
At noontime. Okay, that's.
So there are going to be people there from both sides of the issue, and there are also going to be some people who are against finalizing the Arashidero improvements.
So that's at noon, and where's that?
That's at noon. This office as well, right here.
Oh, right here.
Right here at noontime.
Okay, here at noontime.
Yeah, here at noontime.
Okay, wonderful.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's definitely a meeting you should come to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate that you followed up. I wrote the letter to the city council. You're the only one that responded.
Well, I mean, I'm a huge bike fan.
But it's I don't know. To me, it's here. I spent the time writing a letter, and you're just so nice to respond.
Well, there's
was Lisa, right? Was it Lisa who responded to you?
Right.
Yeah.
But you're. I mean, I consider that you responded.
Yeah,
right.
It's
Well, I think the issue is there's 9 people on council, and there's only one person on council, which is me, that actually bikes or skateboards most of the time. Everyone else drives. Even people who live really close to city council, they will drive to council. And but I think, I was reading something I think there's 7 billion people on Earth right now, and if everyone drove all the time everywhere, the planet would just fall apart. And
you already have global warming.
Yeah,
such a problem.
Yeah. So I think trying to use more eco-friendly ways of transportation. I think is really important. But I think it's important actually for the council to show leadership in this area because, like, unless you actually bike and skateboard around, you don't realize the problems, right?
Right.
You think everything is good,
Right.
and I'm pretty hardcore in terms of like both biking and skateboarding, but
Well, that's how I am. I'm like you.
It just falls apart when it rains, and when it rains, I fortunately have the option to walk to school.
I got fenders for my bike now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I ride my bike in the rain.
Yeah. So, but it was kind of weird. Just when I got fenders, it stopped raining. Like, oh man, because I wanted to try the fenders out. But so now I'll even bike in the rain because I have fenders now. But
You should see Davis. I took my daughter on a tour of Davis, and they talk about fenders on the college tour because there they all have bikes.
well, in Seattle,
and they said you can see the line on their back.
it's Seattle, right? So I used to go to Seattle a lot, and it rains a lot there. And you see people like riding in the pouring rain.
Right,
it's like,
right.
oh my god, like
Why not?
Total
What's going to
hardcore.
happen to you when it's
Yeah.
raining?
Yep. Okay, we do need
okay,
to.
okay. Well, hey,
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having
Of course, thank you.
me.
And we hope to see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yep. That would be definitely a good discussion. So, also your opponents.
Hi, are you
Hello.
Carol?
Yes,
Hi, Carol. I'm Greg.
nice to meet you.
Welcome. Please,
Thank
let
you.
me give you a quick.
Oh, thank you. Whoops.
So, we